B-boys. How you? Oh, let me. Let me pull the lens out a little bit so we can see these handsome gentlemen right here. Oh, hey, how you doing, Mr. Goodwin?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming in. And Gertz, let me give you a little room right now. Okay, Martin, that's good right there. That's good. Looking good, Gertz.
Thank you.
This new camera does wonders for you, man.
Thanks.
Actually adds a little tan to you right there.
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to be like us now.
You're like, nah.
Yeah, nah. Got too many perks with this shit right here. Go home, listen to my boot. I was going to say Booty and the Blowfish Club.
Sounds like a great spin-off group, though. All right. Introducing Booty and the Blowfish. Ooh. Yeah. That's hip and happening.
Yeah. Booty and the whole fish. But thank you guys for coming in on your day off. You didn't have to be here. It's a nice lazy Sunday, but you decided to be here. And that's commitment right there, Martin. I like that. And you will be rewarded in heaven for this.
Threatened. Yeah, I was going to say, it's commitment when they volunteer.
And how appropriate for you guys to be here on a Sunday, because we are talking about silence. And silence is the latest Martin Scorsese picture, man. The legendary Martin Scorsese. Everything Martin Scorsese does is a masterpiece. Put a turd on film one day. Masterpiece right there, Martin. And
I don't think you can say that about anybody.
You can, but see, that's the thing. Everybody feels obligated to say this about Martin Scorsese. And this is one that kind of just came under the radar. I mean, you know, the film people are talking about it, but, you know, what about everybody else? Not too much rumbling going on with that. And I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the subject matter. You know, when you get into religion and you start to question it, people kind of shy away a little bit from that. And the other thing, a lot of people just ain't buying this, really, because it's about two Jesuit priests. And those are played by Andrew Garfield and who else?
Your boy.
Adam Driver.
Adam
Kylo Ren.
Let me put up real quick.
Kylo Ren and Spiderman. Back at it again.
I know. Let me put up this trailer. That's one thing I forgot to put up here is the trailer. Because I'm going to show you the trailer because we don't have a whole lot of clips for this. And let me see here. Oh, let me find it. There we go. There we go. Yeah, let me bring this up for y'all. And I'll tell you why people are not really buying this this movie right here. And the reason why is because, as we were saying, you know, we have Andrew Garfield and my boy Adam Driver, one of my favorite actors today. They are sent to go find another priest that had a heavy influence on their life, played by Liam Neeson. And people right there, they say, stop. What the fuck you talking about? Ain't nobody got to go get Liam Neeson. You know, Liam Neeson goes to get people.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of people are like, I already don't buy this shit.
Well, eventually your luck has to run out.
Yeah.
I came to bring Christ to Japan.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, I'm not buying this, man. You don't go get Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson gets you. In fact, in this picture right here, Liam Neeson standing on about 100 dead Japanese people. You know, I told you I got this shit. Liam Neeson right now, he's praying for that dude behind him. Like, please, Lord, let this motherfucker creep up on me so I can beat his ass. You know, you don't get Liam Neeson. But the thing about it is, as Martin said, you know, every now and then your luck runs out and you need a little help. So they're sending in these two guys who had whose lives were so impacted by this one priest played by Liam Neeson that they feel like when they hear that he's gone to Japan and he actually gave up the faith, they're like, first of all, that's bullshit because he would never do that. And if that's what they're saying, that means he's in trouble. You know, look like a job for Spider-Man Kylo Ren to go in. And when they get there, they find themselves a little more over their heads than they thought that they would be, because they thought they were going to go in, and you know what?
People think the power of Christ is a real superpower.
Oh, yeah, they do. They do. Ain't nobody touch us. The Lord will protect us. They said, first of all, we're going to go get our main priest, our main man. And, you know, as a bonus on the side, maybe we can just spread Christ a little bit more. Japan said, bullshit. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for Silence, and we'll come back with the rest of our review.
I pray, but I'm lost. Am I just praying to silence?
Now, to talk about this film effectively, at least for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but to talk about this film effectively, you have to talk about the technical parts before you talk about the story. And the reason why I say that is because that kind of has an impact on how I felt the story was delivered. And I will say something about the cinematography, first of all. I wish I had gotten the name of the cinematographer for this, but it's, when you look at it, if you think the subject matter is depressing, the film itself, the way it looks, is depressing. I really haven't felt this depressed since I've been to Seattle, man. Because this is
Jesus. Seattle was beautiful.
It was.
Actually. It wasn't even cloudy.
Matter of fact, they kind of pump up that whole "it rains all the time" thing here. I think just to keep people from moving there, because it was nice when we were there.
I was too used to it being cold. Like the first time I went to Seattle, it was cold and raining the whole time. And that's just, first impressions mean everything, man. So, son was out like, fuck you, I don't see you, man. Where were you back then?
Gotta get the tan.
Why did you forsaken me a year ago? I was looking at this and I was thinking, wow, this is it is wet, cold, and muddy through this whole thing.
And smoky.
And misty. Yeah, they had
more human. Everybody's walking around in sandals and shorts. I think it was hot.
Well, but the sun is hardly out. The skies are cold. These people are damp. Yeah, they're damping the whole time. It's everybody's covered in dirt and shit and everything. They had to, and that's the effective thing about the film. I mean, even when it's like you say, it might be human and everything, but it comes across as a cold feeling film, in both feeling and visuals. I mean, I had the heat cranked up where I was, and I was bundling up the whole time. Shit, because it's so effective at what it does with the visuals in it. Now, as I'm saying, it's depressing, it's dirty, it's gray, but at the same time, regardless of all the dreariness in the film, it's a gorgeous film, man. Sure. This is an amazing looking movie. This is Scorsese going back and shooting 35 millimeter. I think his the first film that he did that was a 3D movie was Hugo. The Wolf of Wall Street was the first 2D movie that he did in digital. And with this, he's going back to 35 millimeter. Now, I'm not one of these film purists. I don't give a fuck if y'all shoot on digital or you shoot on film. It really don't matter to me. But you can't help but admit, if I can just be a film snob for just a tiny second here, that 35 millimeter does add this haze to this movie, this dreamlike haze to this film that adds to the insanity, the surrealness that these characters are going through. And it's a movie where everything works together. You were looking at the trailer, and there are things right here where it's not just the cinematography, it's the composition of the shots. I mean, they take simple elements and work them to where they are very artistic compositions, very artistic shots. It's just not a good looking movie. It's well thought out in its visuals too. I mean, I'm sure everybody agrees with that.
Yeah, there was one really good shot that really stood out to me, and that was when they were like the first 15 minutes where they were in a cave and they were just down in the lower corner and everything was dark, and then one of the Japanese people came up with a thing of fire and it just lit up the whole cave. You're like, wow, like he went for a really awesome shot. It was great.
And the thing about this is that this is why I'm telling you that you got to talk about the technical aspects of this before you get into the story, because this movie was made for $46 million.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be made for actually twice that much. And then people talking about Christianity in Japan. We giving you this much. We give
He spent years, if not like 12 years, trying to get this movie.
Yeah, he was trying to. Before a couple of movies. But the people like, nah, you ain't getting $67 million unless Spider-Man pop up in this motherfucker somewhere. You work with $40 million, and that's great. I always like when a lot of people get upset, man, that's Martin Scorsese. You should give him more money. He earned that. Nah, take that money away from him. Make his ass be creative. Because I feel like that should be for any director.
Sure.
Take the money they give you and accept it as a challenge. Because 46, man, if you really, really look at this, they're working with very little. Yeah. I mean, they're out there in the grass and the weeds shooting. I mean, they're not doing a whole lot of big spectacle. The buildings out there, these villages. Like when you're thinking of Japan, you're thinking of like Kung Fu Panda, some shit. Nope. No, the villages here they're shacks. Yeah. They're dirt. Everything's covered in mud.
They're made of straw and sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Little bamboo.
Yeah. You're just a smidgen, a kiss of bamboo.
That's our budget.
Yeah, they made Scorsese build that shit himself.
That's why it's taking 12 years.
I've been building this whole years. is. But it's with this, and the funny thing about it is that all this stuff is really bare bones when you look at it. It's all grass and huts and vegetation, and you think, man, well, they made Ancient Japan look really cool. If you turn the movie over, you see a tag on there that says "Made in Taiwan." This shit wasn't even shot in Japan, and I think that there's a lot that they've done here. The cinematographer has made this movie an awesome looking film by learning how to work with less and making it look like big spectacle. And I really appreciate that. And when I say that this movie is working with less, it's working. That includes with music.
Yeah.
When I say music, you can't even call what they have in there because it barely has any music. What they do have in there, it ain't even music. They had a dude with a cello come in, put the music down, go like, and they said, "Thank you."
You just need to sample that.
But I spent weeks writing this. That's your fucking fault. Thank you.
I had to catch 3 buses just to get over here.
Really, there's a
Carrying the cello.
Yeah, they had a cello play one note and a mosquito come in. That's it. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating. That's what you have here. That's about it. And that's fine. But one of the things that about that when you're working with so much less, it almost works, for me, it works against the film sometimes. Because the feeling they're trying to get, you get it, and I think that they just keep going.
Yeah, I felt like the first hour of this could have been shortened to 15 minutes and would have been to its benefit.
Yeah, man, that is...
Because at the point when it started to get really interesting to me, I checked my watch, and it had been on about an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? You and I agree exactly. I even put in my notes right here. Interesting. Hour and a half later. It's an hour and a half. The movie's 2 hours. Shit, almost
2 hours.
2 hours and 41 minutes.
Right.
And there's a point in here.
That face.
Even he's like, God damn.
That long?
That's the face you'll make for the first hour and a half.
Even he's like, oh, Jesus, why'd you tell me that? Fuck. Oh, Lord, you testing my faith real hard right now. We're looking at that picture of Andrew Garfield. Looks fucked up on time right now. But yeah, man, it worked because there's a part in the film where when they go to Japan, when you have Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver, when they go to Japan to find their head priest, they have to hide. He's nowhere around, and because of the persecution that's going on in the villages, they say, "Hey, you know what? Stay your ass in here and come out when we tell you to," which is for days.
Right. But we love you. We want you here.
Yeah.
So don't go, but just hide.
Yeah, just hide. And they play hide and seek for weeks, and this is what I mean by it's working against the movie. When you're sitting in there, they have long shots of them in this shack. They have no music playing. It's only a matter of time before you feel like you're sitting up there with them. And it gets to a point where you're saying, I need to get out this motherfucker, man. You going stir crazy, man. Shit, I saw an episode of Law and Order where they put a dude in solitary confinement, and he didn't, and he wanted to go there because somebody said, "Man, I killed somebody because y'all drove me crazy, but put me in solitary." Like, put me in there, I won't go crazy. They put his ass in there, and they showed him
seconds later.
Yeah, it was like they opened the door and they're like, "You motherfucker, you said you keep living for like 3 days." It's like, man, it's been 3 hours. What are you talking about? And you feel like that, and effective up until a certain point.
What do? We must do something to find Father Ferreira.
All right, we're fucking. God won't see us in here. Ain't nothing better to do. Now, the reason why that is effective to a certain point is because the movie wants you to feel what these characters are feeling, and like I said, sometimes it's to a fault. But when it's really effective, for example, when they leave that hut. And for those who are listening, it's a dark hut and there's no sunlight, but they finally adventure out. They sneak out, and you feel that sunlight coming down on you. You feel almost warmth. You feel the movie.
This is nice, right?
It was almost like, was it good for you?
Yeah. Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, it's that bird from Assassin's Creed.
Hardest working bird in Hollywood.
I'm moving up, baby.
Scorsese loved the movie.
They're here. That bird ratted y'all out
Down
too.
them out.
Yeah, there's a couple of people who see them out in the open, and this is how effective Scorsese is as a director. He does almost
A double
a double take, a cinematic double take. That shit's meant for a comedy. When you go back, you come back, you almost see the water from a spit take coming out. You know, but he makes it dramatic. You know, he's at the top of his game here as far as directing.
What I liked about the film was, once it got to the middle, the debate between Buddhism and Catholicism, and really just the message it was trying to bring home to Andrew Garfield was just like, listen, this is our country. We didn't ask for you here. We kind of think it might be politically motivated, but just go home.
They told him over and over again.
This is not your place. And the way he was so like, yeah, but Christianity, that's the true religion. That's the one. It's like, you think yours is the one, we think ours is the one. Let's just call it quits.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
No. Mine is the one. Like, dude,
Yeah. These are the nicest practitioners of genocide I've ever seen in a movie.
They are. It's one of these movies where, man, I could not find an empathetic window because Andrew Garfield is just like, yeah, you're wrong, but okay, philosophically they're right, but they're dicks, so it's hard to be on their side too.
Well, that's the cool thing about the movie.
I like that. I like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I like the Grand Inquisitor, who was the Japanese Christoph Waltz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I want to talk about him in a little bit, but you're right, man. It's the movie. For me, Martin is right. That's when it took off, because right at that hour and a half mark is when you start to bring up the complexities of what the movie's trying to say.
And that's when the sun actually comes out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Son's like, oh, this is looking good. It's like God hated them being in Japan. And I'm going to fuck with y'all. Right. Until something happens, and here's the sun.
I ain't tell you to go there.
Yeah. Like you said, it's funny how much fun genocide is when the sun is out. A little sunshine makes everything okay. But that's when you get to the point where they're asking the complex questions about religion. Because look, we're not saying that this is a movie where it's an anti-religious film. It's not a faith-based film. It's a movie that's it's addressing a lot of things, like at what point is belief a good thing, and at what point does belief become fanaticism? At what point do you go from being a missionary to somebody who has a vanity Jesus complex?
Illusions of grandeur.
Illusions of grandeur. I mean, because I like when Liam Neeson even came in and he told Andrew.
I love that.
Yeah.
He told Andrew Garfield straight up. He's like, "You think you Jesus, bitch? You ain't even me." He's like, he said, "Look, get this through your head. All this shit that you came here with, you came for me, but you need to stop." Because this is a point where I'm telling you, I'm fine. You're doing this not for me, not for Jesus. This is shit that you're doing for yourself.
Pure vanity.
Pure vanity, and your vanity is getting people killed.
Do you have the right to make them suffer?
You excuse yourself! You excuse yourself! That is the spirit of darkness!
Go on. Pray.
Your ass.
But pray with your eyes open.
Bitch. Yeah. So you can see this.
You vain little bitch.
So you can see this ass when I'm about to get it.
I like how his response was like the Christian black woman is like, that's the devil talking. You get out of my face.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's got an opinion. No, that's the devil.
That's the devil in you, boy. Shut up.
And at that point, his accent is gone.
I know it is. He didn't give a fuck. He's like, I'm Liam Neeson. Shit, I don't give a need to do this shit right here. I like the way that Qui-Gon Jinn outfit came in handy.
I hate leads the suffering. I mean, no.
Are we still talking about the Force here?
Talking about he was done with the prequels. No, you're not. I see you kept that outfit. And it's not just the Americans either that do a great job here. It's like you said, the Inquisitor, man, in this movie. I even took this guy's name down. This guy in the movie, what's that?
Oh,
Tadnobu Asano. Tadnobu Asano. Anyway, shit, Japanese dude. He
just one of them.
yeah, just one. No, he's the one that plays the leader here, the Grand Inquisitor. And at first, you're laughing because you're thinking like he's playing such a stereotype.
Right.
The price for your glory is their suffering.
And he even plays it to the point where every time he talks, he finishes by putting his teeth out.
Yo.
Oh, so the Grand Inquisitor is here. Oh. And it's like, Scorsese, you know this wrong, man. You don't do this shit. But the more he goes on, the more he is great in that role right there. And his interpreter, I don't know the guy's name, but his interpreter is amazing.
Yeah.
I like that dude a
Yeah,
lot.
I've seen him in stuff before. I forgot what it was though, but he's been in a bunch of American projects too.
And
And that guy's a troll.
Oh, he totally is.
Hey, you see this is happening, right?
Yeah.
You can stop it if you want to. I don't know. Like, Jesus, dude.
And they kill, and the thing is, they kill people. And they do it with such a smile on their face. Oh, you see this? This is because of you.
Yeah.
You can stop because they really are trying to do it with kindness. Like if they kill you, that's their last resort. They're like, all you have to do is this one thing: step on Jesus. It's good.
It means nothing.
It means
Yeah.
It's a
go
formality.
home. Yeah, and that's another thing with the film. It's really about. You can say what you want to about how your personal beliefs affect you when watching this, but you look at it. No matter what your affiliation, you admire the belief of everyone, the belief that the Jesuit priests that go there. You admire the people that stick to their guns and are willing to die for it. I mean, it says a lot about religion. It says a lot about belief. It's not. It's a movie that is really not trying to make judgment about anything, and especially with Japan. Like we said, they are guys that, in the movie they're portrayed as bad guys, but the more it goes on, the more they say, "Look, this is not." Let's cut the bullshit, okay? This is not y'all trying to spread Jesus. This is colonialism right here.
Yeah.
And it's great to even see Andrew Garfield with the followers in the movie. They're kind of, because he said, "What the fuck are y'all smiling about?" And it's like, Padre, when we die, we go to heaven. You taught us. It's like,
go to the
this is-
paradise, right?
We go to the paradise. Like, that was bullshit. It's like, we're about to die. We got to get the fuck out of here. Oh, Padre, just accept it. Fuck that.
Yeah, I just laughed out loud.
Yeah, man.
And even here, like, Lord, I'm sorry. I had a moment, But it's an awesome second half.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with this. And this movie kind of takes a bunch of different tones, especially in the first half. You have the mystery of, all right, is Liam Neeson here? Can we bring Jesus to these people without everybody being murdered? Are we going to get caught? And then once that the second half kicks in, there's something that we haven't even touched on yet. Is that a lot of humor comes into this? Like the Grand Inquisitor is kind of funny. I forgot the guy's name, Kurokishi or whatever. The guy that kept running away.
The
coming
Japanese
back.
Gollum.
Yeah,
He looks like Gollum, and he screws over people throughout this entire movie.
Yeah, and he keeps coming back. Yeah, and it's like it's a test of faith for Andrew Garfield.
They keep doing shit. He comes back. I got to confess, Padre. It's like, man,
I didn't
fuck you.
No, I got to confess.
I'm weak. And it's so funny because every time that happens, it gets to a point Andrew Garfield's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I know. At the one point, he wasn't even looking at me. He's like, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, get the fuck out my face.
And there's so many scenes where, like, there was one of you that was willing to apostatize. It's like, I know who it is. And every time it reveals,
Is he running away?
there he is. Japanese Gollum at it again.
There's the what you call it, the translator right there.
Just laughing.
Laughing at Andrew Garfield
They
getting
fucking
raped.
you up, right?
Yeah, he got that. You mad, bro?
He's like, I got next. But how you feel about it, Patrick?
There's a lot to like here. You touched on it. It's beautifully shot, and all the actors, their accents are all over the place, but they are committed to these roles. I was expecting, and I'm a little disappointed, that emotionally it didn't really resonate with me as much as I would have liked it to, especially for a topic like this. You have people being tortured and put to death for what they believe. And I agree with you, Martin. I couldn't really empathize with too many people in here. I thought it was kind of funny that it felt like the Japanese people who were doing the torturing were given more dimension than the Jesuits were. Because there is that scene where he's like, look, cut the shit. This is why we're doing this. And it's a shitty thing to do, though their reasoning for doing it is a good one. It's like you're turning Japan as a whole into a pawn into your colonial game.
They just didn't have to be assholes about it like they were.
The thing is that, and you're right, it's so wild because you spend, like you said, the Japanese characters seem to be more fleshed out, and we spend the least amount of time with them.
Yeah. True.
And somebody need their ass beat for that picture of Jesus they put over his face in the river. That effect was so bad.
Yeah.
Like I'm like,
well, hey, they only had
man.
$46,000.
Man,
I mean, $46 million.
That's it looked like $46,000 with that.
When you look in the water, you see Adrian Brody looking back at you.
He's like, the pianist?
No, this is Predators.
Yeah, that shit was moving, like somebody control that with a joystick or some shit, man.
That was a rough thing, and especially with Martin Scorsese. Like we've seen him do movies and use like computer generated effects you didn't even know that were there, and then you see this, you're like, oh, that's awful.
Well, there were a couple of effects. It's a heavy-handed movie. Before we wrap up, one is that they have a scene where Jesus literally talks to somebody a few times, and you didn't really need that in there. That's very, 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 very heavy-handed. And I like how they did one thing in the movie. They say, okay, yeah, this is some heavy religious, philosophical shit, but hey, come on. We got samurai swords. Somebody gonna use that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I love that one scene where somebody got their head cut off. no. Oh, shit.
The thing is, you saw it coming though. They're
Yeah.
like, oh wow, they're letting him go. Thank you, Jesus. No.
It's like, you really think they're letting him go? Man.
And when that shit came off, it was like a styrofoam mannequin head that somebody spray painted. It was like, man, that's a really bad effect.
That shit
y'all did.
looked fake as hell.
I feel like Martin Scorsese could call in some like things, but like, hey man, I need a favor. Can you give me like a good head or a good CGI effect without this shit? And it turns into that.
It turns into that right there, man.
It's ridiculous.
I'm curious to know what y'all would give it, because I'm at a crossroads right now.
So am I. I was hoping you'd go first.
Shit, well, I asked you first. What would you say, man?
I don't know, man. I mean, we bring up so many technical things, and the things that are good about it are really good or even great. But it's a hard movie to sit and watch. It's
really
it's
is.
a really hard movie to tell somebody, to recommend to somebody. Because I feel like they might even leave, an hour into it and come back like, why you tell me to go see that bullshit? It does get better.
Some nasty ass people walking around in the woods and shit.
Yeah, nothing happening, some torture, but not even all that extreme. So I don't know. It's probably a better movie if you're a big fan to watch at home. I give it a high rental.
High rental. Wow.
Just because it'd be better at home.
Yeah, good one.
Just for the beautiful parts alone, and if you can get through that first hour and a half, it's a solid matinee. I recommend checking it out if you want to.
I was flip-flopping between matinee and full price for a long time with it, because it is beautifully shot. It's well acted. There are some really well-written scenes. But it doesn't have that emotional connection I wanted it to. It was a very ambiguous movie, and then that ending's like, nah, this is what we about. So for that, I give it a matinee.
Yeah, I've covered everything I have to say, except for the reasoning why we're giving a matinee is because I've used this excuse for so much, and I can't do it just because it's Scorsese. Because a lot of people, I think people feel obligated to give a movie more credit than it deserves when you have somebody like Scorsese directing it. But I would go in and talk about any other film and be like, well, story-wise, that's why we're there. And technically, you can't let a movie slide because of that, just because it looks so beautiful. You're trying to tell a story and you fall on that, then that's what you have to judge it by, and that's the case here. I give it a very high matinee, but this movie could have been streamlined so much better. It could have been. You did not need to have an hour full of what they had at the beginning of this film. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, my review card at the end, I was like, y'all could have cut 40 minutes out of this easily. It'd be much better.
Yeah,
Spend that hour developing the characters instead of
Yeah.
just having them be in a whole.
Yeah. I know a lot of y'all talk, but this is Scorsese, okay, it's whatever, fuck, Yeah. I'm just kidding, I don't mean it like that, Shit, they ready to cut my head off. What the fuck you say? Nothing. Gamefly brings to your house, to you, over 8,000 new releases and classics that are available to rent, or you can buy them for almost every system out there, current and some old systems. Like I said, man, I've been trying to put my GameCube back to work for years. Gamefly's giving me an excuse to do that. And you could even try 30 days for free by typing in gameflyoffer.com/double toasted. And when you do that, you'll get 30 days for free of games and movies. Get all those things, all of them at once. Just stay in the house. Don't go nowhere, because they're all going to get brought right to your mailbox. You can also bring the element of surprise every month to your home in the form of a Loot Crate mystery box. In that box, I can't tell you what it is, but I can guarantee you it is the best in geek and gaming gear. Some people say it's like having Comic-Con brought right to your home. You don't have to leave the house for nothing. You're getting all kind of stuff. And everybody likes a little surprise every month. Just a little bit. And here's another surprise for you. If you go to our link, trylootcrate.com/double toasted, and you type in bridge 10, that's the word bridge and the number 10, you can get 10% off, a 10% discount on your first crate. How's that for a surprise right there? Loot Crate, bring the mystery and the surprise to your mailbox once a month with Loot Crate. Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel and go over to our home, doubletoasted.com, for more videos and live streams. And remember, stay toasty.